What is the value proposition that you are proposing from Mars, and how are you giving it for free? Like, how does that work? Explain this to me.
I think it all comes from our mission. So our mission is that we want the software to be built in a way faster, like, and way cheaper, and we want that to be on scale, right? Like, if we want to be, the not the monopoly, but more like the default way of building startups. Like, I'm not talking about the corporates. I'm talking more about startups. We want to be the default there. Like people use Slack as a default for communication. We want Mars to be default for building a product. But then, we don't want to be the tool that people use and then eventually they grow out of it, because that's what happens with a lot of no-code tools, right? Because people put a lot of effort into building stuff, and as you know, everything was temporary becomes permanent, and then you don't want to rebuild your stuff right when things go well for you, right? Because you don't want that technical debt and things like that. So, and since we built Mars initially for ourselves, rather than as a product to sell, the main thing we focused there was that how can we combine no code and custom code in one place? Because so you don't have to choose. Like, if you have a lot of money, probably a wise way for you to go with it is that you hire good team of engineers, experience, etc. And whatever they want to use, they should use because they will be happy with that, right? But in most cases, startups are not there. They don't have a lot of money. Even those who have investments in, it's not like a lot of money, right? And then in that case, or for the case where they have no money at all except some personal savings and little angel round, we think that Mars and other no-code tools are the best to start with. Like you mentioned, WordPress, like there's Bubble, there are a lot of stuff in the market, like hundreds of them. And I think it's really good way to start, but it will be very painful to realize at some point that you have to start over with a custom code. And what we try to do is we try to remove that problem. We try to say that one project can have two interfaces. So one is the no code, one is the high code. And basically you're the one who selects the one, because if you're at the early stage, you don't have engineers in the team and you don't have technical knowledge, you go with a no-code interface. You have lots of limitations and you accept that because that's the price you pay for the speed and for the budget you have. So you have more or less not very flexible solutions because that's no code, but that's good enough for MVP. And you can iterate on that. You can have maybe 10 iterations on the no-code space yet. And once something works, once you have users telling you, look, could you change that? That then you go back to the builder, you see you can't, but that's a good problem. Like now somebody said, change something you can't change in the interface, but now you can move into the code interface and change anything you want there. And now you get the developer in, and probably now things are going well because once you have users, things go well, like by default, right? And then maybe you get some more money into the company, then you get, two people running the project. You get the no-coder and developer. So we think that we don't want to be taking the sides. We don't want to say like no code is not scalable, like all the high code gurus say, and we don't say the opposite, like no code is extremely difficult. We say that both are great for certain stages and certain problems. And it's never the case that one project is only complicated or only simple, right? Like anything you can find in the market has like bunch of things that are very simple, no code solves it, bunch of things that are very complicated. And we're just trying to target both and remove the dilemma of selection.
Let me summarize. For the non-technical founder, you're offering a no-code solution. Come in, start building. And we're going to talk about how that works in a moment. You have a solution for them. The difference is after the MVP is validated, let's say the founder raises some money, instead of having to go and now hire a team and build everything from scratch again, you can then evolve that no code into more custom coding, a custom code solution, and your solution scales with the iterations and the stages and the needs of that team, which then helps the technical people say, we now have an operating environment or a development environment that scales with us, where we can save lots of hours and time and don't have to hire all these people. Because I know so many founders that are paying astronomical prices for recruiting engineers that can't find talent. Like, the talent war is real. You're saying you've solved the entire spectrum of that, right from beginning to end. You want to be with the teams. You don't want to just give them a no code solution and say, okay, then upgrade and hire your own team. You want to be with the startup for the entire lifetime of their journey. That's what you're saying.
Yes,
Okay,
that's exact.
great.